Ministers for Foreign Affairs of the nations of the regional bloc, the Bay of Bengal Initiative for Multi-Sectoral Technical and Economic Cooperation, held discussions in the Thai capital Bangkok today to increase collaboration among the member nations of the entity. Good evening, I'm Abhyuday Shrestha, and these are the headlines of the hour. Government secretaries expressed concern regarding treatment between political leaders and government officials during investigations into the infamous Lalita Niwas land scam. Both House meetings pushed back as the government fails to introduce new bills. No effort in reaching consensus in the formation of important laws. Marketplaces remain quiet despite improvements seen in external economic indices. The private sector accuses the government of becoming revenue inclined. And Nepal crashes out of the ACC Emerging Nations Cup in the group stage after losing 2 consecutive matches. Nepal thumped by India A by 9 wickets in the second match. Government secretaries have expressed their concern regarding what they say is a biased treatment between political leaders and government officials during the investigations into the infamous Lalita Niwas land scam of Balwatar. A meeting of the secretaries was held after Secretary of the Ministry of Communications and Information Technology, Krishna Bahadur Raut, was arrested for his alleged involvement in the Lalita Niwas land scam. The secretaries have concluded that the treatment of the government officials during the investigations is to drop the trustworthiness of the administration. At the meeting held at the office of the Prime Minister and the Council of Ministers and chaired by Chief Secretary Vaikunta Aryal, the participants expressed their dissatisfaction towards what they say is a biased approach of the Central Investigation Bureau CIB of Nepal Police. Issues raised at the meeting have been briefed by the Chief Secretary to the Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for Home Affairs, Narayan Kaji Shrestha. Agenda of the regular meeting of the secretaries included assessment of past decisions, work plan for implementation of the budget, economic good governance, and the infrastructures of the Office of the Prime Minister. The budget endorsed by both houses of the Federal Parliament has come into implementation today. The major responsibility of the session of the Parliament was endorsement of the budget. Following the endorsement of the budget, the government has made an effort to extend the session. Both houses of the Parliament are at halt for a while. The meeting of the National Assembly called for today was postponed indefinitely. The meeting of the House of Representatives has also been called after 10 days. There are 12 bills in the House of Representatives and 3 in the National Assembly. 2 bills are under observation at the House, while around 10 have already reached the committees. Meanwhile, 2 bills have also reached the National Assembly, while discussion is underway on 1 at the committee. Serious discussions on 11 bills that have reached the committees have yet to be materialized. Absence of section-wise discussion on the bill at the committees and no new bills at the House have led to the delay of the meeting. Many bills require political consensus. For this, the political parties have yet to initiate serious conversations, and the impact is also being seen at the Parliament. Instead of assigning tasks to the Parliament, the government has also been engaged in minor political disputes. Only 1 bill other than the budget has been endorsed from the 7-month term of the House of Representatives. Despite the effort for extension of the Parliament session, government intent on proceeding with additional bills does not seem adequate. It's time now for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
But before that, let's take a look at the results from yesterday's poll. Yesterday, we had asked you, why have some local levels not introduced their budget despite the end of the fiscal year? 53% voted for A, political disputes, 46% voted for B, incapable leadership, and 1% voted for C, ignoring laws. Here's today's question. Which entity must be more responsible for budget implementation? Your options are A, political leadership, B, administrative mechanism, and C, public monitoring. The voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B, or C, and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. The Election Commission has taken action against political parties that have not submitted their audit report. There is a provision that the parties should turn in their audit report at the Election Commission within 6 months from the end of the fiscal year. The Commission took action against the parties which had neglected the provision. The Election Commission had given directives to 82 political parties to turn in their audit report for the fiscal year 2021-22 on time. Out of the 82 parties, the Commission has fined 39 parties 7,000 rupees each for not turning in the audit report. The Commission has also directed the 39 parties to make public their audit report within a week. The Election Commission has also sought clarification from 16 parties that failed to present their audit report on time. The Commission has fined 8 parties 20,000 rupees each for not presenting their audit report and clarification. The Commission has directed the parties to carry out the audit and make the report public within 6 months. The Election Commission has informed that the remaining 4 parties were fined 10,000 rupees each, while 4 other parties were fined 15,000 rupees each. Meanwhile, the Commission has handed warnings to 12 parties that delayed in turning in their audit report. Ministers for Foreign Affairs of the nations of the regional bloc, the Bay of Bengal Initiative for Multi-Sectoral Technical and Economic Cooperation (BIMSTEC) held discussions today to increase collaboration among the member nations of the entity. Discussions were held among the foreign ministers of the member nations of BIMSTEC in Thailand's capital, Bangkok, today. According to Minister for Foreign Affairs N.P. Saud, talks were held regarding aid in power, expansion of transmission lines, climate change, food security, health and technology. Minister Saud had left for Bangkok yesterday to attend the BIMSTEC Foreign Ministerial Level Retreat. The regional bloc includes Nepal, India, Bhutan, Sri Lanka, Thailand and Myanmar. Minister Saud and Indian Minister for External Affairs S. Jaishankar are also understood to have held a sideline talk. In a tweet, Indian Minister Jaishankar has said that the two nations would proceed with collaboration. Foreign Affairs Minister Saud is returning tomorrow. Improvement in external economic indices has been seen in the report of the 11th month of the economic and financial prepared by the Nepal Rashtra Bank. However, the government has not been able to generate revenue, while in the absence of revenue among the consumers, the marketplaces have gone quiet. In addition to that, the budget introduced by the government for the new fiscal year is centered on generating revenue. Therefore, business persons have said that there has been no improvement in the situation. The government had aimed of generating 1.4 trillion rupees last fiscal year. However, by yesterday, the government could only generate 957 billion rupees, which is only 68.21%. Failure to generate target revenue has been attributed to lack of market activities. Income of consumers has not increased in relative comparison to inflation, which has reduced demand. Industries are operating at 44% capacity, while many shutters have gone vacant. Business persons have attributed this market situation to the strict monetary policy of the Nepal Rashtra Bank and the interest rates increased by the banks. Industries and business persons have said that as the budget for the new fiscal is also focused on generating revenue, it has not been able to revive the market. 500 billion rupees have entered the banking mechanism. Industries and businesses have not taken loans as there is no immediate increase of demand or revival of the market. With transactions of the real estate sector at a slow pace, around 300 cooperatives are not in the state of returning deposits. This has also hampered the market activities. In our Public Voice segment today, we have asked people in several provinces what should be done to ensure sanitation in the cities. Let's take a look at what they had to say.
Public Voice.
हामी नगरपालिकाको आश गर्नु भन्दा सट्टा हामीले आफै घरको फोहोर आफै व्यवस्थित गरेको राम्रो हुन्छ।
जताततै फोहोर फाल्नु भएन।
नगरपालिकाले नयाँ योजना ल्याउनु पर्यो र जताभावी फोहोर फाल्नेहरूमाथि जरिवाना लिनु पर्यो।
जबसम्म जनतालाई जागरुक हुँदैन तबसम्म यो नगरलाई सफा जे गरे पनि हुन्न।
वरिपरि भएको फोहोरलाई आफूले उठाउने, सफा गर्ने।
फोहोर पहिला चाहिँ सुरक्षित ठाउँमा फाल्यो भने
त्यो कुरा चाहिँ एउटा मेन्टेन हुन सक्छ।
सफा सुग्घर राख्नको लागि चाहिँ समुदायको र स्थानीय सरकारको बराबरी रूपमा चाहिँ कोअर्डिनेसन हुनुपर्छ।
जनतालाई चाहिँ परिचालन गर्न सक्नु पर्यो।
सरसफाइमा ध्यान दिनु पर्यो, बोट बिरुवाहरू रोप्नु पर्यो।
It's time now for the international update. Russia has notified the United Nations, Turkey and Ukraine that it will not renew a crucial grain deal that allowed Ukraine to export grain through the Black Sea. Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov said the agreements had reached a de facto end today. The deal let cargo ships pass through the Black Sea from the ports of Odessa, Kornomorsk and Yuzhny Pivdensy. But Moscow said it would return to the agreement if its conditions were met. Russian President Vladimir Putin had long complained that parts of the deal allowing the export of Russian food and fertilizers had not been honored. In particular, he said grain had not been supplied to poorer countries, which was a condition of the agreement. Russia also repeatedly complained that Western sanctions were restricting its own agricultural exports. President Putin repeatedly threatened to pull out of the agreement. The grain deal is important as Ukraine is one of the world's largest exporters of sunflower, maize, wheat, and barley. Following Russia's invasion in February 2022, naval vessels blockaded Ukrainian ports and trapped 20 million tons of grain. The blockade meant global food prices skyrocketed. It also threatened food supplies to a number of Middle Eastern and African countries which rely heavily on Ukrainian grain. Western leaders were quick to condemn the decision, with EU Commission President Ursula von der Leyen accusing Russia of a cynical move, adding that Brussels was trying to ensure food security for the world's vulnerable. The Kremlin's announcement came just hours after Ukraine claimed responsibility for an attack on a bridge in Crimea that killed 2 civilians.
Sports news.
Nepal have crashed out of the ACC Emerging Nations Cup in the group stage after losing 2 consecutive matches. Nepal were thumped by India A by 9 wickets today in their second match of the tournament. Nepal had suffered a 4-wicket defeat against Pakistan A in their first match. Nepal will face UAE in their last group match this Wednesday. In another match played today, Pakistan A thrashed UAE by a huge margin of 184 runs. Winning both matches in the group stage, India A and Pakistan A have advanced into the semifinals from Group B. Team Nepal have returned home after winning the 2-match international friendlies against Bangladesh. All Nepal Football Association President Pankaj Bikram Nemwang and General Secretary Kiran Rai, among other officials, welcomed the team today. Substitute goalkeeper Anjana Rana was a standout performer for Nepal. The second match had moved to penalties after a draw in regulation time. Anjana, who entered the field in place of captain Anjila Tumbapo Subba in the 90th minute, saved 2 penalties. The first match had ended in a 1-all draw. Coach Ananta Tamang has said that securing wins against Bangladesh had boosted the team's morale. Team Nepal had toured Bangladesh as part of their preparations for the Asian Games. That's all for the moment. Thank you for watching. Good night.